Hey guys, how are you? Wes Anderson here, Community Relations Director at Southern Hancock. I know you guys have had lots of questions about our new procedures for car line, pickup, drop-off, how buses are going to work at the junior high. So this video is intended to get you all that information you're going to need. So we're in the Anderson family truckster here, and we're going to go head over to the North Campus, to the junior high and Sugar Creek and the intermediate school, and then back to the high school, and we're going to walk you through some of our procedural changes for car ride drop-off. So stick around, and here we go. All right, here we are in New Palestine Junior High. Here's Principal Jim Voles.
Hey, how's it going?
In the old Anderson family truckster.
Nice.
And Jim, I want to talk about your pickup drop-off procedures. I know you've had a lot of questions over the past couple of weeks about how this is going to work. So let's just go drive it and see what we're going to do.
That works for me.
So one of the major things that you are changing this year is you're going to have a set drop-off time. That's not really been the case for you in past years, where kids come in and just unload them at whatever time and they go sit in the cafeteria. So you've made a change this year. Tell me about that change.
Well, yeah, in the past, basically as soon as the custodian was there, as early as 6:50 or so, people could drop off their child. And so for safety purposes and for locked door purposes and for supervision reasons, and it's going to be a little more consistent with the other buildings, we're not going to have students dropped off and the doors aren't going to be unlocked until 7:15. And so kids are in the hallway at 7:35. So but it's just going to be a little bit later. There'll be supervision in the cafeteria of where the students are going to be at that time, but it's going to be just a little different for maybe some families that dropped them off super early and then headed to work or whatever would work for them. But and a lot of that is for safety purposes.
Sure.
Just be more consistent with the other buildings. That our building is not unlocked in an hour and a half before the school day starts and staff is in the building. And so that's a little different. And so, we'll just have to get used to that, that it's a little bit later. So the doors will be locked. So until 7:15, and then the doors will be open for people to come in, and they'll wait in the cafeteria, can study, can talk to friends, and there'll be some supervision down there.
So as we come down 600 here, all of your drop-off pickup is going to be off of 600. And as we come here, I'm turning left here in front of Sugar Creek. This is going to be the only way in for you for drop-off pickup. Is that correct?
Yes. So parents will come in, and it's like they're going to Sugar Creek, and then they're going to turn at this very first
here
left
and go left.
So you're kind of going through the Sugar Creek parking lot, but they haven't started school yet, and they're not starting for another hour or more. So there should not be many cars in this parking lot, and so they're going to head on through, and it's going to give us a longer line, and we have a long sidewalk here, and so our students are going to be dropped off in the morning here on the west side of the building. There's a courtyard, and that's where the flagpole is. It's beyond the outside play area, but anywhere along this area, and we'll have cones here where the cars will be right next to the sidewalk.
So none of these cars are going to be parked here. We're going to have no parking during the day here.
This will be parent drop off, and they'll drop them off right here in front of the courtyard area, and the students will go in there, and then as soon as they go in, they'll veer off to the right and go to the cafeteria.
Okay.
Unless they get dropped off past 7:35, then they'll just come in and head to class. So
once we drop off here, now for our parent, kids out of the car, kids head into school, we're going to come back out here.
They're going to do a turn right here.
We're going to cone this area off right here in front of the stop sign to go back out that way. That's going to be entrance only in the morning, so we're going to U-turn right here. And now we're going to go right back out the way we came. And we'll use this middle road here between the junior high and Sugar Creek to do our exiting, and you have to go back out onto 600. There's no way to get out to 200 from here unless you go out to 600 and then turn right.
Correct.
So that's a brief entrance into your pickup drop-off procedures. Let's hop out of the car here, and I want to talk very briefly about your bus situation. We're going to talk to Bob Martin about that a little bit later in the video, but I want to get your end of that as well. So let's park it, and we'll go set up over here.
Okay, sounds good to me.
All right, Principal Voles, so now we are on the south side of your building. between there's the junior high. Sugar Creek is kind of behind the camera over here. And this is going to be your bus drop-off area. So as we look at the building, we've got door 11 and door 12 kind of here by your outdoor space. You can see in the background over there. So walk me through the morning process for kids coming on the bus. They'll come over from the high school, and then what?
Right, and then the buses will come from the east side, and they'll just come through, which you can't see. You'll come through here. We'll have about 7 or 8 buses lined up here, and at 7:35, that's when Mr. Moore or myself or somebody will come here and dismiss the students, and they'll come off the buses, and they'll just head in, and that's our cafeteria. They'll just head into the main artery of the building, and they'll be off.
And on to first period class from there.
Yeah, and a few minutes after that, then I just dismiss the buses, and then they're heading out.
Okay, and that process is going to be the same in the afternoon in reverse, right?
Correct.
Your process doesn't change for pickup drop-off in the afternoon. Do exactly what we showed.
Right.
Here's that map again, so you can see that drop-off pickup.
Yep.
And then buses will do the same thing. They'll pull in here, students will come out,
Yep,
they'll
correct.
get on your bus, and then from there, they're going to the intermediate school to go pick up those 5th and 6th graders and go.
Right.
Okay.
Right. Yep.
All right, well,
I got
Jim,
it.
we appreciate it. We're going to head over to the intermediate school, talk to Principal Mio now about his pickup drop-off procedures. Thank you,
Great.
sir.
Yeah,
We appreciate it.
It's going to be a smooth drop-off pickup procedure, and the bus area is going to be fantastic.
All right,
Great.
here we go.
Thanks.
Okay, here's Vincent Mio, Principal in Palestine Intermediate. Vince, good morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
Glad you could be with us here. So let's talk about your process for setting your drop-off and pickup procedures as we get ready to pull in here and get out back behind the intermediate school.
Okay.
So the good thing is because this was Doe Creek last year, there were already some procedures in place there.
Yes.
So what has changed for you from how it was done previously at Doe Creek to what you're going to do at the intermediate school?
So in the morning, there will be 2 options for dropping off. So the first one is to come in off of 600. So you can come on off of 600 and go past the junior high and down the back road toward NPI.
Here's that map. You can see that here with the blue arrows and the green arrows, the 2 different directions.
Okay, and if you come in off of 600, you'll come up the back drive and you'll go in to what we will use as also our playground area. The gates will be open for drop off in the morning, and so you'll come into the loop and we'll be able to drop off about 10 cars. We'll be able to unload about 10 cars at a time. And then after parents drop off their students, then they can exit back down the same driveway and back onto 600. So same way in and same way out. And then there's another option off of 200.
Before we talk about 200, what we're driving right now is the south option, the blue arrows on the old map, right?
Yes.
So as we come in here, we'll turn and go into this loop here by door number 9.
Yes.
In through here, and you see these gates will be open in the morning.
Yes.
And as we come into the loop, we're going to pull all the way around, correct?
Yes. Underneath the second basketball goal, you'll stop there.
Right here, and we'll be lined up. If I'm the first car, this is where I am. If not, we'll be lined up around and back out on that road we just came in on, right?
Exactly. There's plenty of space for you know, people to wait in line. We'll be able to drop about 10 cars, unload 10 cars at a time. Students will get out on the passenger side and then right onto the sidewalk, follow the sidewalk around to into the building.
Okay, and that's going to be the same for this loop and for the loop, as you look at the map here again, the green loop. I'm in the blue loop right now, but the green loop right next door is going to be the same.
Yes,
okay.
Correct.
So the day, just so you guys know, the day we're filming this, they're doing some paving work up on the north side of the building. So we're not going to go over there because they don't want us over there. So, but understand, in the morning now we have blue and green, right?
Correct.
So now
Two
talk
options,
me through the afternoon and how that changes.
The afternoon is a little bit different. We have more buses that'll be coming in off of 200 in the afternoon, so we need to keep 200 clear. So the only way to pick up is to come in off of 600. So come in off of 600, go past the junior high, down the back road, and then you'll use the large loop, which will allow us to load about 20 to 30 cars at a time.
That's the green in the morning, right?
Yes.
Okay.
And we'll bring those students out door 13. We'll walk them around the sidewalk. They will just get right into the cars, and then the cars will exit onto 200. So they'll come in on 600 and exit 200. And then we'll bring the next group up, load 20 to 30 cars, and then they will exit out 200. So the flow will be continuous, and there's plenty of space for cars to be in line back towards 600.
So let's go over really quick and look at the bus area, and we're gonna talk to Mr. Martin about his procedure here in a little bit later here in the video, so hang on for that. But I do kind of want to head into that bus area so you can tell me what you expect, what the procedures are for parents as these buses come and go through this area here.
Right. So we will stop traffic on the back drive when the buses are coming or going. So parents will need to watch for one of us to stop traffic so we can allow the buses in or out as needed. So
this will be the lot where the buses come, and they'll come in off 200 and go around the east side of your building.
Correct. Yes.
And then they'll be lined up kind of in this area right here. Here's the map where you can see what the buses are going to do. And again, we'll talk to Bob Martin, our transportation director, about that in a moment.
Yes.
But then when the buses pull out here, they're going to pull out, and they're all, which way are they going?
They go to 600.
600, I believe. We'll clarify that with Bob in just a minute. But what you're saying is here, as we sit where the buses will exit, which I've highlighted here on this map, this is where I'm sitting, we're going to stop traffic. So, so basically, please let the buses in and let the buses go where they need to go to get our kids out the door on the way home. So one of the major issues for you is you're going to have high school buses here. You're going to have junior high buses here. They're going to come over here. They're going to unload, disperse, go to whatever bus they need to go to, and then you'll let your kids out. They'll get on their respective bus, and we'll all go home.
Correct. Correct.
And it's those additional buses are why this changed to the one direction in the afternoon, correct?
Yes. So we'll have 22 buses in the afternoon. So they will pick up high school students, junior high students, and then they'll all come to NPI. Those students will get on their buses that will take them home. Then when we bring out our NPI students, they'll get on the buses that will take them home, and then all 22 buses will exit our parking lot. So that's why we had to do some changes. Yeah. So make sure that we had traffic flow the way it needed to be, so we weren't stopping traffic and holding anybody up.
And one last question. So when's your morning bell? When does school start in the morning for you?
School starts at 7:50.
Okay.
So we will start our car riders. We will start unloading car riders at 7:30.
Okay.
So they will be probably lined up in both loops at 7:30 for morning, and we'll start unloading car riders at 7:30, and then our buses will start unloading at about 7:40, and then the bell rings at 7:50 for class to start.
Okay.
So. Yep.
All right. Well, Mr. Meal, we appreciate it.
All right.
Thank you, sir. And we're going to head on over to Sugar Creek, and we'll talk about the Sugar Creek procedures next. Thank you, sir.
Okay.
We'll see you later.
Hey, how are you?
We're over at Sugar Creek now. Here's Carrie Shelton, our principal at Sugar Creek Elementary. And Carrie, before we get rolling here, we're going to go drive your pickup drop-off car line. You've had this particular procedure in place for a while now, and there's not a lot that's changing for you with the junior high opening, right?
Right, not with our actual procedure back at the school for car line.
Now I know there's obviously going to be a lot more traffic just generally around. The good news is you start an hour later and end an hour later than the other two buildings on your campus, the junior high and the intermediate, do. But even that said, how does that impact that extra traffic? How does that impact what you do?
There's just going to be more traffic on campus. So the reality of more people understanding the procedure could cause some challenges. So people bring your patience. But I think that after our folks in both buildings and all of the folks that are using all three campuses understand how traffic flows and they all follow the same procedure, we shouldn't have any problems. It should be smooth, but ultimately it's about folks knowing what to do and sticking to the routes.
So again, this hasn't changed as we come up 600 here. It's kind of always been this way, where the northmost of the three entries on the north side of the junior high is where we're going in for your car line, correct?
Yeah, all of our cars have entered, the last 3 years entered through this entrance to, what's our way on the north side of campus.
So we'll go around the north side of the junior high here, and as we get ready to turn in behind the junior high, I'll go ahead and put the map up so you can see how the Sugar Creek drop-off works. And while we're not painted yet, I'll let you look out the front of the car here. You're going to have eventually, you kind of see the 3 lines here, and these are your 3 drop-off lines, right?
Yeah, very crew car washy, like line up 2, 3 lines and then merge into 1.
So 3 here, and then we'll come down to 1, and then we're going to make the turn.
Turn that way.
Turn in here.
Yeah. Yep.
And
maximize
around
the lots. Because the sidewalk that goes all the way around here, the perimeter of the parking lot, is where we deliver kids, and we want to get as many cars possible in this lot, stopped, idling, and ready to load, so we could load approximately 25 to 30 students at a time. I call it roller coaster style, I guess. You know, you line up, you wait for the adults to give you the okay, and then the cars move out, and moving out in the same direction. The only thing you're going to need to really pay attention to this time is that there is more traffic in other areas that weren't there before. So pedestrian traffic leaving the junior high would be really the only thing that would change.
And then when we're done, when we've picked up the kids, we go back out and we turn left here, right? Okay. And now this is one thing that has changed.
Yeah.
As we move through here, back through between Sugar Creek and the junior high, we're going to go back out this middle road, and I've highlighted. Let me put the map up and highlight this road that I'm talking about here in the middle. This used to be really a 2-way, and we're going to change that now to a 1-way out.
Right. So anytime during school hours, everyone's going to be exiting out of this. Where I have, even though there's been some arrows painted here in the past, we have seen people still using this as an entrance. Not so much for at the beginning of school, but more towards other times of the day. So I don't think people typically use that for an entrance to come into school. But even bigger, they've not really used it as an exit or as a 1-way. So that 1-way is going to be really important, especially as all the buses and car rider traffic exit at the start and the end of school.
So, and I do want to let you guys know we are going to have signs posted for all this stuff. I actually am in the process of getting those ordered and designed and all that stuff. So when you come first day of school, we'll have signs that are pointing you in the directions that you need to go. But again, do remember that one road there in the middle is going to be 1-way out only. So you have the way in from your main entrance, kind of on the south end, and then from
I didn't understand what you said.
From there's the old Bluetooth. From the south from your building, and then the north from north of the junior high as well. Okay, so, well, Carrie, I appreciate it as always. We're going to go ahead and head over to the high school now. We've got some changes over there with Mr. Fessler we want to talk about as well. So thank you, Carrie.
All right, I think this is great, guys.
Thanks.
Have a great school year.
Here's Principal Keith Fessler, principal in Palestine High School. Mr. Fessler, how are you today?
Pretty well, Wes. Good morning.
Good morning. So let's, what I want to do is talk about your new drop-off pickup procedures, because things have changed pretty dramatically from the way it's been in the past.
Yes.
So in the interest of student safety, I think is what's most important to us, we're going to eliminate basically your parking lot being a through street.
Correct.
To traffic going to NPE or going out to 600 or any of that stuff. We're going to separate your parking lot where you come in and you go back out the same way you came.
Correct.
Okay. So as we, I'm on the south end of the building right now. So let's kind of make a U-turn here down to the area where you're going to do your car line drop off on this end. So walk me through what's going to happen as I come in here.
Well, student can go, or parent can go forward all the way up. You'll see they're closing the gates up there ahead of us. So if you think about the way it is for a football game, it'll be similar to that. So when you'll come up, parents can drop off at the turnaround right here and go on around and then exit at the south end of the building and back up to Gem Road.
So we'll let out right here, and then we can go in the main entrance. And let me put the map up here really quick so you can see that. Here are the 2 different directions that we're going to talk about here. So when we're done here, we obviously can't go out to 52. We're going to have to U-turn it around. And we're going to have to go back out.
Correct.
And we'll go back out to 600 and go back around. So give us a minute here and we will flip around and we'll come in and we'll do the 52 side. So hang on just 1 second. Okay, Mr. Fessler, so now as we get ready to come in off of 52 into the main, quote-unquote, main entrance of the high school, talk a little bit about why this change was made. I know I said student safety, but can you elaborate a little bit on what the reason is there?
Yeah, you know, it is student safety is obviously our #1 reason, and the biggest reason for that is we've been really lucky that we've not had a really bad incident in our lot, because basically we have 2 one-way streets going through the middle of our parking lot, and there are times during the day when people get up quite a head of steam going through there, and especially when it's full of cars and all the people are in here, you step out from behind there, and you know, we're very lucky that we have not had a really tragic event, so we want to make sure that we're keeping kids safe at all times.
Okay, so now we come in off 52. You can see here's the gate ahead of me that's closed, and we're going to basically do the same thing that we did previously, which is we're going to U-turn right through here. There's Mr. Herkamp. Hello, Mr. Herkamp. Mr. Dinwiddie.
He'll be here to greet you that morning.
That's right. And then we'll U-turn here.
Yep. Drop off right here.
Drop off, and they're going to head in the main entrance there as well, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yep.
So let's put it in park here real quick. I'm going to pull in, and I want to get out and talk a little bit about how your parking lot's going to be laid out. So let's stop here for a second, get out, and we'll be right back. All right, so now we're outside. We got the marching band going in the background. You know, they're getting ready for their big season as well, so we're going to try to be as loud as we can out here. But Keith, we're about halfway through your parking lot. The main entrance is actually over your shoulder that way. Yep. Here's a football press box right there over my head. So walk me through now how that layout of your parking lot is going to go with sections closed and who parks where. Yeah.
Actually, the layout's not going to be a whole lot different. We've actually been able to add some visitor spaces, which for some of you parents, when you come in, you know those spots are at a premium. So behind me right now will be the staff lot, just like it always has been. And then the spaces to my right, though we've been able to add about 8 or 9 visitor spots right along here over on the right side. So
and you'll have to come in off 52 to
you'll
get
have
to
to
those,
get
right?
to come up. Yes, you'll have to come in off of 52 to get to those visitor spots.
And then you're encouraging all your staff and students to come in off 600
Yep.
by the admin building by NPE to come in through that direction,
yes,
correct?
Yes, we're encouraging them to do that. I think most of our staff will probably want to still park in this area, so they'll come in off of 500, yes.
And obviously, I just want to make it clear to our NPE parents. I know a lot of you that come from 52 are used to coming through this high school parking lot to get over to NPE to drop your kids off in the morning. You're going to have to go to the light and go down 500 to get in from the admin building side over there. So take a look at that map I had up there. Go back here about 15 seconds and study that and make sure you're all prepared for the first day of school. So Mr. Fessler, I appreciate it. Thank you very much for your time.
Wes.
We're going to head over to the bus garage and talk to Transportation Director Bob Martin. Okay, everybody, we're here on bus number 40. I've got the microphone out. It's a little bit loud, so I'm here with Bob Martin, our Director of Transportation. Bob, we're lucky enough twice in 1 week to have you.
I feel very fortunate.
Well, there goes the old tripod. That didn't work too well, did it? So we'll just hang on to that dude right there just like that. So we are on bus 40, and we're headed towards a high school. So walk me through your process. All your buses go out in the morning, and now this year, instead of picking up 8 through 12, they're going to pick up, or I'm sorry, 7 through 12, they're going to pick up 5 through 12.
That's correct. We're going 5 through 12. We've tried to streamline the group stops to where we're actually picking up door to door for the 5th and 6th graders the best that we possibly can. There are some instances in the cul-de-sacs that we just can't get in there, but for the safety of our kids, we're trying to go door to door as much as possible.
So now in the morning, everybody goes out, picks up all those kids, and now we're coming in. I'll show you out the front here as we turn in here. There's the admin building that we're going by right there, and now we're going to turn down in front of NPE headed towards a high school.
That's correct. All the buses that go out, we've got 24 buses running the high school route. They all come in through here, and as we enter this area, the parking lot, we try to stay clear of the students that are driving and those parents that are dropping off, and get to our parking lot that is secure for our students to unload.
Okay, well, let's go ahead and get these buses pulled in here, and we're going to step outside and talk a little bit about your new procedures for getting your kids to NPJH and both to NPI.
Sounds great. Thanks.
Okay, Mr. Martin, so now we're here on the south side of the high school. The pool is kind of right here. Here we've got 3 buses lined up. This is kind of a simulation of what we'll see in the morning at the high school. So when we pull in, we've got 5 through 12 on the bus. Walk me through your procedure from here.
All right, once the buses all are secure and turned off, then Mr. Fessler will give the command for the high school students to release. So the high school students will release and go into the school. And at that point, once the area is clear, he will say, okay, release your 5th and 6th graders. At that point, we're going to have 6 buses assigned specifically for the NPI. So for safety reasons, all the 5th and 6th graders will now be on their own bus and be transported to NPI. Then he's going to say release the 7th and 8th graders. At that point, the 7th and 8th graders will get off and they'll get on their own 6 buses and be going straight to the junior high. And the first couple weeks of school, we're going to have extra buses so that if we have overflow, we can just cascade right on down and provide the safe transportation for everyone, regardless who's riding in the morning.
Okay. All right, so that will conclude it here at the high school. So let's head over to NPI from here, because I want to talk about that, because I know there's a couple different procedures in place for the car riders morning and afternoon. So I want to talk about your different procedures morning and afternoon, okay?
Sounds great.
All right, we're going to load back up. We'll be right back. Okay, Mr. Martin, had to take a little bit of a detour there. Had 200 closed, but to be honest, that's kind of a part of your world from day to day, is you want to turn left and you're not turning left.
Correct. It can happen anytime, so we're okay.
So we are now working our way back in from behind the intermediate school, but we're going to actually turn around and go around all the way around the front to show you exactly what we're going to do. Typically, we would have, and I put a little comment there, we would have turned left there at 200 and come in from the east towards NPI, in the front entrance of NPI, and then around the east side of the building and around, and I'm going to show you that here in just a second. So in the morning, you said you've got 6 buses coming from the high school with the 5th and 6th graders on, and they're going to come over here, and here in just a minute we're going to be pulled in to the spot there in the back, and we talked to Mr. Mio a little bit earlier in the video about where the buses go and how he's going to release his students. So we've got 6 coming here after leaving the high school, coming in off of 200. You've also got 6 that are headed to the junior high, and are those coming up 600, or are they coming the same way?
They're going up 600, so
okay.
They'll go 52 to 600, turn and go north, and they'll be coming in on that side.
Okay.
On the north side of the junior high.
Okay. So now you can see as we sit in front of the intermediate school here, this would be normally the way you would come in, and then we'll go around the back.
And that's correct. We're coming in from the north off 200 and going clockwise around from the east side of the school to really separate ourselves from the car traffic.
Right, and I'll put that map back up here really quick. And we're talking morning right now, so I'll put the morning map up here with the 2 loops, the blue loop and the green loop, and then you can see I've highlighted the bus parking area here in orange on the south side of the building. So here we go, making the turn around now on the east side of NPI, and headed back to the bus loading area. So let's get her all pulled in here, and we'll hop out for a second and talk about that. Okay, so here's the south side of NPI, and again, I showed you a little earlier in the video kind of where we're located here. So in the morning, you've got the 6 buses come in, pull in, and Mr. Mio or Mrs. Welch will be out here, and those kids will be released, and they'll head in that way over there. Is that correct?
That's correct. Once the bus drivers have shut off and secured their bus, he'll give the command, and only on his command. So we wanted each of the principals to be in charge of their school, and so that we had one person in charge, one point of contact for all safety issues go through that person. So on their release, we'll release the students.
So, and then from there in the morning, these buses are headed back out, correct, to go start their elementary routes to each of our 3 elementary schools.
That's correct. As soon as the kids are secure and inside the building, then we're released, and then we go start right away to the elementaries.
So now let's flip and talk about the afternoon over here, because you know there's a little change in how things work, and the reason we changed from the 2 the 2 car rider lines in the morning to the 1 in the afternoon, and here's that map again, is because of the number of buses that you have over here in the afternoon. So 6 in the morning, but you're going to have 22 of them, right?
24.
24 of them. 24 of them coming over here in the afternoon. So just walk me through your afternoon process, starting at the high school and headed this way.
We're going to start with 8 buses at the high school,
okay,
and that will transport and shuttle those high school students here. We've got 8 buses that will start at the junior high, and they too will shuttle the buses here. And then we'll have 8 buses that are already staged here to accommodate the 24 buses for all the children.
Okay.
Once we get all the buses lined up, they'll shut the buses down. We will release the high school and the junior high students off the bus. They will redistribute and board their homebound bus. Once they're settled in, the 5th and 6th grade will be released. They will get on the bus. We've got assignments for the high school to be in the back of the bus, followed by the middle schoolers in the middle, and then the 5th and 6th graders will be in the front of the bus. So once we start loading, the 5th and 6th graders should be able to load fairly quickly.
So then all 24 of our buses from here are headed out down this direction. And which way do they go from here?
From here, we're going to go left, and we're going to go out. There's 2 schools of thought on this, but the northbound buses, so the buses that are headed north and to the east, will be on the north side of the junior high, and they're going to single file head out. Those buses that are heading west and to the south will be headed out the exit only. Exit between on the south side of the
middle road, and there's the map
yeah.
again. I've highlighted that middle road. That's the one-way. So explain to me why these additional buses, why the 24 buses, make that only one way in out for car riders a necessity.
It's a necessity. One, if there is, we're going one way in the afternoon, based on when we were here with the junior high, those children were a lot of after-school activities, athletics, band, different things of that nature. I think that the 5th and 6th graders not having that opportunity, and also being released an hour early from what they were last year, that we're going to have a large number of car riders. And to accommodate those car riders, we're just bringing them in off 600 and bringing them up into the 1 loop. All the cars exit off to 200. Was really trying to avoid any backups on 200 so that we could get our buses safely clockwise into the back parking lot, and then we're going to exit. So it really kind of separates the buses from the cars, but it gives us a clear path out and exit onto 600 West.
Okay. All right. So now there's the intermediate school, morning and afternoon. Let's pack it up and head over to the junior high real quick and get to that area, because I know that's a new building, new processes, new procedures. So let's touch base on that really quick here before we end. So we'll be right back. All right, so now, Mr. Martin, we're headed from NPI to the junior high, which is not a way usually your buses are ever going to go. But for the purpose of the video, we're going to cut back down behind the back, or technically the front, quote unquote, of the junior high, the east side, and the main entrance side.
Actually, we do in the afternoon. We'll be coming this way to exit.
Oh, yep,
so
that's right. You'll be headed out this way,
yeah,
right here, headed out to 600.
Right.
So as we make the turn here, and admittedly, I filmed the bit with Principal Shelton the other day. This was not painted, and as I show you out the front of the bus here, now it is painted. You see those 3 lanes. She calls